And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. This is Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, we go ahead, Josh Peterson and I talk about the value of Xbox Games Pass, Alien, and Predator, both this year coming out with real good stuff. If you haven't seen Alien Earth yet, the first two episodes, Josh has his thoughts on it. I'm waiting to go ahead and super binge it, so we'll see what happens. But I did see Predator, Killer of Killers. I know it's a little bit late on that, but I did see it this past weekend. And we recap in full the highs and the lows of the summer box office on this week's Pop Culture Cosmos on YouTube or wherever you get your audio podcasts. Also, as well, of course, Joe Soro. He said he's coming by. He said, don't know if he is, 100%. He is. If he is, he's coming from playback.tv/the Joe Soro Experiment or the Joe Soro Experiment on YouTube. Catch one of his great places to go for all things Joe Soro. Or if you want to go ahead and catch him on the Joe Soro Experiment on playback, you can go ahead and watch the Dodgers game right there for you. So go ahead and check it out today, right there for you, wherever you get your Joe Soros. But also, as well, of course, our good friends at Lakerholics.com, hoping they will finally agree on a time. It's funny because I ask them each and every week, are you guys coming on? And then they get in this huge discussion, and it just turns out to be nothing. Similar to what Juju is putting on Twitch right now. Nothing. So there you go. Go ahead and check out what they have to say at Lakerholics.com, but I'm hoping they'll get back into the swing of things here rather shortly. Also, as well, of course, our good friends, Alfred Esmond on Twitter. Of course, legend, I Got Next Sports Media, his great channel. Of course, our good friend, @report_court, Stone Hansen. And also, as well, want to go ahead and make sure we give some love out there to Empire Jeff TV. And, of course, Daniel Barry's Sports Highlights. Yo, Sports Baby, I said not to watch it. If you had heard my review, I told people not to watch it. I did it as a favor to each and every one of you. But yet somehow it gets to the top of the charts on Amazon because a lot of people just are desperate to watch anything seemingly. And this was made, we're talking about War of the Worlds, everyone, on Amazon Prime. Please avoid it like the plague that it was made under. Well, okay, it wasn't plague, but it was COVID. It was filmed during COVID. But yes, it is terrible. I think it brings a new meaning to the word terrible. Sports Baby, Vari, you did that on your own. I said otherwise. So next time, watch the Pop Culture Cosmos because I take the bullet for people when it comes to bad pop culture right there for you. So you don't have to do it. I'll do it for you right there for you. Right there for you at the Pop Culture Cosmos. But go ahead and check out Sports Baby. He is there for the Joe Soro Experiment. Always great to have Vari here. My good friend from Down Under. I know our other friend, Sports Baby, Mr. Xbox, has been a little busy as of late. So we'll go ahead and cut some slack on it. Because I know he's been preoccupied, per se. And I'll just leave it at that. But it is, of course, great to have you here. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. Please like and subscribe. It does help out the channel, as always. I know every YouTuber tells you to do that. It's because they want you to do it for a reason. Hopefully, it'll get you coming back more often and more often and more often. The more subscriptions we have, the more subscribers we have, the more followers we have, etc., etc. That just means the show and the channel is getting more popular. That's what we need to see. That's what we need to hear from you out there. And it is truly appreciated if you do from all of us right there at the Lakers Fast Break. Yes, Vari, you should have watched. I mean, I prefaced it. I prefaced the Pop Culture Cosmos. It was actually the PCC Multiverse last week. WWE and UFC get richer. Nobody 2. And did Gerald just see the worst movie ever with Ice Cube's picture right there? It was right there in front. He was the JPEG that gave it away right there. So there you go. Nick, what's up? You didn't get any notifications? That's weird. Google's slacking. I wish I would have known that, Nick. Wish I would have known that when I was driving by their offices in San Francisco a couple weeks ago, or earlier this year when I was driving by them in Seattle. Actually, they're close to the waterfront, not in Seattle, but still, you know what I mean. But yes, Nick T, I apologize for that, but it's great to have you here. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. Joe, because I'm going to get like, where is Oxide? Where is Ox? Where's Joe? He said he was going to come. He said he wanted 9 o'clock, so you got 9 o'clock, but you got me for now. It is, of course, yeah, and I put it up there almost an hour in advance. Tough. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on. Maybe I'll send in a Q&A to for Google, but they'll just give me a generic response. Indeed. Thamus says, I haven't been watching Luka in a Euroball. I'm just glad the knee injury wasn't serious. Absolutely. Because if you haven't heard the update while you've been out doing summer vacation, getting the kids ready to go back to school, stuff like that, while getting prepared for Euro play coming up here in just a little bit, official Euro League play as far as it's concerned. It was in a friendly, I believe, late last week when Luka Doncic, he had a teammate fall on his knee. He was okay by most accounts, suffered a knee contusion, aka a bruise, shrugged it right off, was cleared for practice on Monday, and he was back on the court earlier today as Slovenia played a friendly against Great Britain and just absolutely dominated with 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. I appreciate it, Tough. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't understand why the notifications are coming up. Did I watch the pickup part of it? Yeah, it's not very well thought of. The reviews on that are scathing. No, actually, I'm sorry. The reviews on that are poor. The Metacritic is not great, but it's not the level of War of the Worlds, because there's only been one other movie this year that has been at the level of War of the Worlds, and I'll just leave it at that. But the pickup, yeah, I tried to start that and just wasn't hanging with it, my friend. I'm sorry about that, Vari. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Wanted to go ahead and stress again, 28 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds for Luka Doncic tonight. So I ask you guys, seeing how well he played today and in his previous game, as he's getting ready to play in EuroLeague play, some NBA stars are being allowed to play. I heard that Giannis Antetokounmpo just got the clearance to go ahead and play by Milwaukee, to go ahead and play for his home country in Greece, or one of his home countries in Greece. So he'll be able to play for Greece in EuroLeague play as well. So that's good for them. And also as well, yes, I did see the slap on the back of a head to the teammate that he did the other day. I did see that on social media. That was a pretty good smack as well. But of course, it is the Lakers fast break. We're concerned about Luka Doncic and his play. Obviously, he's taken a lot of time to work on his health. But we were worried about, well, what does his game look like? What would his game look like? Because he's been so focused on reshaping his body from what it was this past season to what it is now. So for everyone out there, taking a big sigh of relief that he didn't get hurt with his knee injury. He's back on the court, dominating as usual, and looking like Luka, as he scored 28, 10, and 6. So I ask you guys, seeing how he's doing so far, does that get you more encouraged? Yeah, I know, Sports Baby, it wasn't good. Did it get you more encouraged? Did it get you more revved up out there? I want to see your thoughts out there on the social media. I want to see your thoughts out there in the chat. I want to see your thoughts on this in the comments after you watch this today, if we're not showing this live to you. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is Luka's play encouraging you more than what you thought about the Lakers' upcoming season? Because we've talked about it at length in regards to what we think of the acquisitions and as a shout out once again to John Martinez because he likes the phrase so much. It was, again, as I phrased it, as I chose to phrase it, I didn't get it from anywhere else. It was to me, it was as far as the offseason, low risk, high reward moves by Rob in the offseason. Now, tough, I understand he is encouraged by what went on during the Luka as far as his play so far. If he could just get a little more help, come on, Rob. I just think that right now that Rob Pelinka is probably not going to go ahead and do anything major heading into the season. So I think this is pretty much the team that we will have heading into the season, unless something magically gets dumped on his table, similar to what was done with Luka. And so we can't put that totally out of realm because you never know what happens in the NBA. That changes on the spur of the moment. Sorry for the San Antonio pun there. But I will say, again, I'm highly encouraged by Luka's play. I think he's done very well so far in the 2 games he's played as far as the friendlies. Looking forward to seeing how he'll play in competition games coming up here in just a little bit. But I see that him now at playing an MVP-like level. I think that is attainable. I think that is very attainable this coming season. His best season to date was a almost 31-9-9 season as far as from when his height at playing at Dallas. And I think he can reach those heights yet again, even as early as this season. That is right there at an MVP level. But is that enough to carry this team on his back and be able to propel the team forward into a position where they can get themselves into the championship conversation a lot easier? I said before, and I'll say it again, my thoughts on them have been about them needing a lot for a pathway to the title. We saw that almost last year with Indiana. Indiana had to have a lot go their way heading into the playoffs because they weren't a number 1 seed or number 2 seed. They were heading in. They were playing well enough, and they had used that momentum. They got a little bit of lucky break here and there, but they earned where they were at in order to get that to where they were at. But they did have a couple things fall their way up until Tyrese Halliburton, unfortunately, tore his Achilles heel. So my question out there is, if you think that Luka can play at that level, at that MVP level, at that highest level he can possible right now, because he's 26, he's in his prime right now. Do you think that's enough for him to be able to take the team on his back and get this team to where you want them to go this season? Well, I want to hear that in the chat so far. And again, I'm waiting for Joe. He said he wanted this time, 9 p.m. So hopefully the guy will be here. I did also want to make mention, Brian asked me about a fantasy football league. Henry, Sean seem to be all in on a Yahoo league as far as that's concerned. I'm cool with Yahoo, ESPN, either which way, but Henry has a preference for Yahoo. Joe said money's got to be on the line. So you guys got to go out there. You guys got to let me know if you want to do a fantasy football league this year. Do you want a free league or do you want a pay league? Joe will only put money in a pay league. Speaking of the guy who only do a pay league in fantasy football, it is, of course, my good friend, indeed. It is, of course, the guy behind Corrupt, or one of the guys behind Corrupt, right there for you. It's available on Steam. The Joe Soro Experiment, now available on YouTube and, of course, on Playback. And, of course, the guy behind Simblades, SimbladesFromY.com. It is, of course, Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. Matea, absolutely. Luka had a little bit of defense as well. If you looked at the full highlights, not just the Lake Show highlights, there was some good. And there was some bad on defense, but he did make a little bit of effort on defense, which was kind of encouraging. But the 28, 10, and 6, I think, is what everybody is prescribing to. Joe, are you encouraged by what you saw? And does it alter your opinion in any way, shape, or form on where you think the Lakers are going to go? But I also have a Steelers question that Johnny asked last night that I got to ask you as well.
Based off the Euro game today?
And also this past weekend as well. He's had actually the first game was actually he did even better. From what
I'm not worried about Luka Doncic.
Okay.
If he plays 75 games, he should be the MVP. The only problem is Lakers don't get voted MVP very often. Everything has to work perfectly for them to get voted in. There's never been a Laker MVP in the modern game because I don't remember how they did it in the 50s and 60s. I have to look back on that actually. But Magic, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe, they all had to be 1 seeds and had to be no doubters for them to win an MVP. So Luka, for him to win the MVP from Laker history means that the Lakers have to get the 1 seed, and I don't think they're gonna be there. But if he plays like an MVP, it's gonna go a long way in giving them a shot competing for a title. But he also needs everyone to play better. Every single player needs to play better except for LeBron. LeBron needs to really be for the first time in his career a second guy. He's never been a second guy. He has to be a second guy if he wants to last until the end of the year. And everyone else has to be better, a tad bit better. That's DeAndre Ayton. That's Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. I don't know if Marcus Smart can be better, but he's more of a bench guy. Laravia needs to be better. Dalton Connect needs to be better, which jury's out on him. I think if he comes out and plays like a daisy, I don't know what's going to happen with him.
They will pick up the rest of his years on his contract is what they won't do. I mean, they have till Halloween to decide on him on whether or not they want to pick up the final 2 years on his contract. But if every Halloween, or at least the next 2 Halloweens, they have that up to that to decide whether or not to pick it up the following year or the following year after that. So we'll see what happens there.
The issue with the voting is most of these numbnuts who vote are usually in the Northeast or in the Midwest, Ohio specifically. So there's no the 2 regions that hate LA more than anyone is the area around Ohio, which most of these media guys are from that area, media guys and women, and then of course the Northeast, and all these dipsticks are asleep by the time the Lakers are finishing up. So they have to get up in the morning, read the box scores because they don't really watch anything past 7 o'clock at night over there. Then it is what it is. So I wouldn't. I have confidence that he'll win an MVP at some point, but I don't know if it will have to be an MVP when the Lakers are really contending, meaning in a few years when they get the second guy and they're able to build a team for Luka. Right now, this is not a team that's built for Luka. Right now, this is a team that's stuck in the middle until they can free up $100 million at the end of the year, and then they can go fishing.
Lightning Blitz says this is why the Lakers need to make trades because Luka may not win MVP if the team is bad.
Trades for who?
Party?
Who are they going to trade?
I think the options now are limited. They were more available over the course of the summer, but yes, at this
Lakers
time,
have very little in Lakers have very little in draft capital. Their talent isn't that good. It's okay. It's not that good. Meaning, if they were to trade the okay players or the good players, you'd have to have the other team have to trade a better player to the Lakers. That's the only way it'll work. And even then, they're going to want draft capital, which the Lakers don't really have any high-end draft capital. I don't look at a draft pick 6 years from now as draft capital. And if anybody has half a brain right now with Mark Walters and the Guggenheims taking over the Lakers, if you don't think that the Lakers are going to be competing every year for the next 50 years with this team, then you're not. You need to do some research on Mark Walter and the Guggenheims. To put it in perspective, guys, I'm gonna really draw this out for you. After the Dodgers won the World Series in 1988, from 1989 until 2012, which is the year that the Guggenheims bought the team from Frank McCourt. They went to the playoffs 6 times. That's 24 years, 24 seasons. They went to the playoffs 6 times, and they won a total of 2 playoff games. Not 2 series, 2 playoff games in 24 seasons. The first year the Guggenheims took over, the Dodgers went to the playoffs, and they haven't looked back not 1 year. They've been in the playoffs since 2013, and they're likely going to be going this year as well. And they won 2 playoff games in that series in 2013. They won more playoff games in the first year of the Guggenheims than they had in 24 seasons previous. That's what's coming. And the Lakers aren't even as bad as the Dodgers were. The Lakers, arguably, I don't even think it's an argument. The the Buss family from 1979 and what will be this year, 2025, let's just say 2026. In that span, there's never been a better ownership in all of sports, not just basketball. Think about it. 11 championships, 17 finals appearances in that span. And that's not counting this year if they were to go, right? Yeah. But the resources are going to be there. So draft picks now have taken on a whole new look. A 2031 first-round pick isn't as valuable as it was thinking that Genie was going to continue to run this thing with Kurt Rambis, his wife, and their cousins. And if you want to trade for quality, you are going to need to cross your fingers and hope that someone out there that's really good, whoever it is, I'm not going to name names because I think we've done that already, demands to go to the Lakers. Kind of like how Durant made sure he was going to Houston because they had other options.
Yeah,
they had better options sending him to Golden State, better talent in return, but Durant said nope, nope, and nope. So they need someone like that to say, I want to go to the Lakers. I want to go play with Luka right now before February or the deadline. And then you would have something.
Because Frank thinks that Luka should have already won 2 MVPs already. The year 31-99, that's really was quite a season for him. So I'm not going to argue with Frank on that one because, we all know, Frank has been a long-time Mavs supporter, and he has been able to have a keen eye on the Mavs like we do on the Lakers. So I definitely won't argue with him on that. I did want to go ahead and mention as well, Robert Wheeler's back. Great to have you back. Brian, great to have you back as well. But Brian said if Luka is weak defensively, he can never carry the team on his back. You got to play both ends to carry the team.
That is absolutely ridiculously false. That is really false. Like beyond.
I think during
false.
the regular season, you can be a dominant one-way player.
This obsession with Luka needing to be GP now is a stupid comment. It's stupid commentary. I am over this discussion. Luka Doncic does not need to be a shutdown defender. He does not need to be. He needs to be really good on defense. He does not need to be really good on defense. He does not. He needs to be Luka Doncic, and that's enough. You don't believe me? Go check out how many all defensive teams Magic Johnson was on when he was playing, and go tell me that guy wasn't the baddest mofo in the 80s. Was a couple plays away from winning 6 to 7 championships in that decade to boot. So I'm over discussing this defensive issues with Luka Doncic. I'm done with this discussion. If you want to say that DeAndre Ayton sucks on defense and that's going to be a problem, if he doesn't play, that makes a little more sense because we need somebody down there to at least instill some kind of fear or some kind of deflection should good guards, good perimeter players, or good centers get into the paint. But Luka Doncic needs to be Luka Doncic. He does not need to be a shutdown defender. No. Viable? All of them need to be viable. Every NBA player needs to be viable. You want to see viability? Go look at Game 7 of the NBA Finals, 2010. Derek Fisher played the best defense he had played in a decade. in that game. The defense is about timing, when you do it, and it's about desire. And I would look at JJ Redick and putting together a defensive scheme that should be conducive with the talent. That's what the coach's job is to do. Now, Phil Jackson had a different theory on how to coach defense. He didn't. He felt that defense was something that you need to figure out because it's an effort thing, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
true.
so is LeBron James going to play defense? He can't. He's too old. Can't play defense all the time. He's going to hurt himself. Is Marcus Smart going to play defense? Absolutely, because that's why he's there. They need him to play defense.
If he's on the court.
Yes, he needs to play defense, and that needs to be his concentration and timely shots, especially at the 2 guard. Then you have Austin Reeves. He can't really play defense. Is Rui a good defender? Sort of. He can. He's a C+, B-, depending on the matchup. And then you have DeAndre Ayton, whom isn't known as a defender. So if you're gonna not see a good defensive scheme here between these guys, just make sure you guys aren't just throwing it all on Luka. Make sure you're putting the team in there as well.
I think during the regular season, Joe, again, this team, if it starts the starting 5 that we talked about primarily the other day, I think that's a very offensive-laden team. And I think during the regular season, offense can get you through quite a bit of games if it's a top 10, top 5 offense. And even if they've got a passable average defense, I think that, a top 5 offense, which the Lakers could potentially have with that starting 5, is not out of the realm of possibility. So I think that could lead to a really good season in that case. But Frank was saying that this was part of the narrative that everybody used against Luka not winning MVP, the defensive part. He was saying,
I never heard that for James Harden.
Yeah, exactly. I was basically Joe arguing against idiots. That was what he was saying.
Let's look at that, Gerald. Let's look at that. Yeah. So look, check this out. So you have James Harden, who's been MVP, and he's been a runner-up 3 times. 3 times he was a runner-up and he won 1 MVP. I never heard one thing about his MVP prowess with defense involved. And James Harden is a worse defender than Luka. So what happens is, and the reason why I'm getting a little loud when I'm saying it is, I can always tell the minions from those who think on their own and actually watch the game. Because that's the narrative they hear on TV and online. And you guys know that I don't watch ESPN anymore. Not like I used to. I watch it in spurts. I don't listen to the boo-haws and the woo-haws and the dinks out there that do Laker talk because they're all trash. All of them. And it's not about being right and wrong. It's that no one speaks about what's actually going on, and they roll with the narrative because that's what they want. They want to be part of the clicks. They want to be part of, and I'm not just saying clicks as in literal clicks. They want to be part of the clicks. The clicks, right, G? The clicks.
Yes.
So if you all want to be the part of the popular crew, see, in high school, I knew the popular crew. I also knew the shit kickers. I also knew the wannabe gangsters. I also knew the stoners. And then I had my crew. And I was as cool as everybody was. But I didn't need to be part of the clique. Although I would have loved to have been part of the Kevin Nash, Scott Hall clique. That's like top notch. But anyways, point is,
sweet, too sweet.
Point is, y'all got to watch the game more and pay attention to that. Stop listening to a bunch of freaking dinks. So, and you're not gonna, I mean, the James Harden thing ends this discussion. I think at this point, if you guys can spread the word out, that would help Luka a little bit, right? Even though he probably doesn't give a damn. But the thing is, here is we are Laker fans who are thinking certain things right now. I can feel it. Laker fans are getting excited a little bit as the season sort of starts to come near. We're about a month away from probably what is it? The LeBron training camp that they always do.
Yes.
Everybody's going to get excited, right? Then media day comes.
We made fun of it last year. Like
Yeah.
it's right down the street from you, Joe. You didn't know that? Or was it in San Diego last year? One of the years it was.
I think it was in San Diego, yes. And
yeah,
technically it is kind of sort of down the street.
Yeah.
There is always this made up narrative, made up enthusiasm with people normally. And I would like for them to go into this season not with any fluff. Just get to training camp and understand your situations. Almost everyone is on an expiring contract right now, playing for the next big contract, except for a couple people. LeBron may be playing for his for a continuation of his career, so he's got something to play for as well. There's motivation there. There's motivation there. So I would say if JJ Redick is as good as he thinks he is, I would tap into that as much as I can and see if you can surprise.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. We're talking about Luka and the fact he's looked pretty good so far in 2 friendly games for Slovenia as they get ready to play in their Euro competition coming up here in the not too distant future. Tough is asking, do we have one diamond in the rough? Can be a rotation player. That can be a rotation player. Laravia looked good in YouTube videos. Well, Tough, we're paying him $6 million, or the Lakers are paying him $6 million a year to go ahead and be that diamond in the rough, to be a rotation player. Now, if he plays like he did last season, he is a rotation player from day one. If he plays like he did in the first 2 years, then it's somebody you're going to have to move off of as soon as possible because it's not happening. There was a reason why he was not given his 4th year on his rookie contract by Memphis, is because they lost confidence in him after year 2. He took the notice and worked on his game, became a pretty good outside shooter last season, right around 40% at both combined at Memphis and Sacramento. Became I'll just say a decent defender, because some people say he was good, some people say he was not good. The people that around Memphis are usually not inclined to give him as much praise as people, overall NBA observers. So I'm going to say average at this point in time. If that's the case and he can give you that, plus he does have a higher than average offensive rebounding rate, which is something the Lakers sorely need. I think that's really good. And if he can give you 10 to 12 points a game coming off the bench alongside Marcus Smart and whoever else is coming off that bench, I think that's a good start for the Lakers. It doesn't give us the deepest bench in the league by any stretch of the imagination, but it is ahead of what it was last season, Joe. That's something that's a small plus in options that we had this summer. What we talked about this summer, what was gained this summer, was the fact that we do have a slight, in my opinion, slight improvement in the bench this upcoming season.
Yeah, there's rotational players that are going to be coming off the bench that were not here last year. And there's a starting center, a legitimate starting center. Some could argue a top 10 center in the league right now, which is a huge upgrade in DeAndre Ayton. Yes. The Lakers are likely banking on the fact that if we had DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart and LaRavia in replacement of Dalton Connect, since he was mentally checked out due to circumstances, whatever they were, they're looking at that as we have a guy that could play defense on the perimeter for us. The best defender at the perimeter would be Marcus Smart, should he be healthy. LaRavia could be the Connect, the player that the Connect should have been, or maybe would be. I wouldn't say it should have been in his rookie year, but maybe an advanced Dalton Connect where he can hit some shots and cover at least 15 to 20 minutes. That's a good idea. That's good. I think that might work, especially if Luka's on point and LeBron is doing what he does. Then you have to wait to see how motivated Rui and Austin Reeves are. If those guys improve just a hair, it's going to go up another level. It'll cover what maybe LeBron loses from last year, because that's something you have to understand too. LeBron doesn't get better every year. LeBron slowly gets worse every year. He's in his 23rd season coming up. So he's likely going to drop down maybe a little bit more, and we want him to not be taxed too much, because if he is, you're basically losing your second option late in the year, and that's going to be disastrous because there's no other player on this team that's a second option. DeAndre Ayton could be a number 3 on a title team. Austin, I still feel, is a number 4 on a title team.
I would say, as you and I talked about, he's better coming off the bench.
He would be better coming off the bench,
but they don't have the players. They don't have the options to start the season.
Yeah, because of his skill set, it's hard to. He'd be better off, especially in a playoff run. He'd be better off playing against the bench in the second and fourth quarters, and playing him in spurts with the starters. Obviously, if you got a good matchup with him, but he doesn't have the athleticism to keep up with the thoroughbreds. And if you can't do that the deeper you get into that playoff run, the more athleticism becomes paramount. You can get away with not having that athleticism if you've got a really good game plan and a good coach. I would say Rick Carlisle had one of the best runs of a coach this playoff run that you could probably have. And if Tyrese had not busted his tire, they may have won. And I'm not talking about Game 7. They may have won it earlier.
Yeah,
they might have won it in 6, and that's unfortunate, because you hate to see somebody. You hate to see an Indiana team like that actually is kind of going against the grain a little bit. Kind of reminds you of a Detroit Pistons in 04, or maybe even a 1979 Sonics team where there wasn't really a superstar that won those in those years. I mean, I'm talking like megastar. Even though Dennis Johnson was on that team, on that Seattle team, and he's a Hall of Famer, I would never consider Dennis like in the upper echelon types, like a Shaq, a Kobe, a Jordan, Barkley, and things like that. So it's a lot of. It's impossible to gauge what's going to happen, because there's so many question marks on who these guys really are, other than Luka. Even if Luka had not gotten into the shape he's in, we knew that Luka was going to do Luka things. Luka wasn't even in shape. He had to deal with a total life shift in the middle of the season, and he coming off an injury, and he was still dropping 30 points, 29 points a game. So imagine now. Now he has a whole offseason. He's going to have a training camp. He's down 30 pounds, and he's got something to prove to boot. I mean, I would look for him to obviously be a first All-NBA player this year, definitely be in the top 3 in the MVP, and then, of course, probably win the scoring title.
We'll talk about DeAndre Ayton here in a minute, because I think was Bryant had a comment I'd like to touch upon. Very ambitious opinion that I'd like to go ahead and expound upon here in a second. But Johnny is here, our friend that's loves the Sacramento Kings, but he's always here, and we truly appreciate it. Although I don't know if he'll be loving them this year, but we'll have to wait and see. He did ask me, and I said I would ask you, getting off track a little bit, guys, for just a couple minutes on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he wanted to note, because we were talking about certain situations for fantasy football last night. Please check it out. It was a great episode. Chris Lardieri and I got you ready for a primer for fantasy football for your upcoming draft. He was sensational as always. But I told him I would leave this for you in regards to the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation upcoming this season.
What do you want to know?
He wanted to know. He wanted to know your thoughts on the whole situation. Aaron Rodgers, the guys coming off the bench, how that situation will play itself out. Aaron has said that this is going to be definitively his last season. Just wanted to go ahead, if you could elaborate on it, or your enthusiasm for the quarterback position in Pittsburgh.
I'm fine with the quarterback setup. I wish that there'd be a little bit of calm with the Will Howard excitement. Will Howard is a Ohio State quarterback, and he got injured during preseason, so they're probably not going to be able to see him throw during the last preseason game. But Will Howard he's got the right mindset, and he's definitely got the pedigree, but he should never see the field during this year. I don't care what happens. I'd rather have Skylar Thompson in there than Will Howard. Will Howard is a raw player with a lot of positive aspirations, and I'm excited for him if he can continue to develop. Sixth round quarterbacks, Ohio State quarterbacks. CJ Stroud obviously is breaking the mold a little bit, but I'm still holding on a little bit to that. I don't want to get too crazy here. It's not a good combination usually, in meaning that you're going to get a franchise quarterback in those situations. Ohio State quarterback and a 6th round pick. There's a lot of deficiencies there. However, my hope is that Aaron Rodgers starts every game and finishes the year without issue with quarterbacks, so that he can develop. That's kind of where I am on the quarterback situation.
Should the Steelers have kept Russell Wilson?
No, absolutely not. No. If you had come to me after the end of the year and said Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, I would have picked Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Without even flinching.
Johnny, I hope that answered your question. Just want to make sure I remembered your question. I want to make sure that I got you, because I know that you're a great help here, and we truly appreciate you taking the time to go ahead and be here with us in the chat. So cannot thank you enough for stopping by and make sure that we got you covered here also on the Lakers Fast Break. So DeAndre Ayton has been a source of conversation in the chat. I think it started with Brian Green. Give a big shout out to him. Very optimistic on his thoughts on DeAndre Ayton. And so seemingly you are as well. He said that he thinks he's a top 5 center in the NBA. If he has a great season this season, if he does 18-10, 18-11, and a block and a half, that is a top 10 center in the NBA. I don't know if I would put him at top 5, but I'm not including Joel Embiid right now on that list, because who knows what's happening with his health. Jokic is undeniably right now number 1. I would put Victor at number 2. Anthony Davis at number 3. Right now, after that, would you put Towns on that list? Would you put, I understand with him in the defensive end, Bam Adebayo struggled last season, so I don't know how you guys feel about Bam Adebayo. Like I said, AD is still very much in play if he is healthy and stays on the court. Domantas Sabonis, he has the capability in Sacramento. He's basically going to have to average a triple-double for them to even get to 500. Don't forget Alperen Sengun from Houston. If they're a title contender, he has to have a really good season himself. And then you got the guys that are more defensive-minded, like Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green, et cetera, et cetera. I think that DeAndre Ayton can, with a good season, play up on the list. He has all the incentive in the world to do so, because, again, as we talked about before, this season is very critical to the rest of his career, Joe. If he has a top 10 center in the league in the NBA type season, then it will be extremely financially lucrative for him to commit to, or because a team will commit to him on a longer term contract. If he has a blah season, gets mad at LeBron or JJ or something like that, and it doesn't go as well as we had hoped, then guess what? Even if he picks up the second year on the contract or not, he becomes thought of as an afterthought, a draft bust, and someone who may never fill his potential in the league. Your thoughts on DeAndre?
Well, there's no way DeAndre is a top 5. I can name you 5 right out of the gate, and it'll be done. If anything, he could land at 10. because some of these guys that you named are not really centers. He's a legit center. Legit
Who
center.
would I say is not a legit center?
So you have Jokic, you have Gobert, you have Sengun. Are you considering Anthony Davis a center?
He doesn't consider himself.
Okay,
well, we've
then
had this conversation. I
take
consider
him
him
out. Joel
I
Embiid
consider
is a
him
center.
I consider him a center. He considers himself power forward.
So Jokic, Gobert, Sengun, Embiid. He's a legit center, and then Sabonis. Right? Those are 5 legit centers.
6'11", 250. You tell me. Jared Allen.
No. I'm talking about the position that they're playing. Forget about their height.
Okay.
That's the 5 right out of the gate. You're not even close to that. Then you got guys like Jared Allen. Then you got guys like Duran. Then you have guys like Bam Adebayo. I'll still take Bam Adebayo.
JSJ, as you know, he would be mad at me if I didn't neglect to say Ivica Zubac, who
Okay,
had one of the best
is in there.
seasons.
Yeah, Zubac is in there.
For center.
So he's sitting at probably 10, definitely in the top 12. He's a center. He's a legit center. And that's better than what the Lakers had, because you know what they had at center going into the playoffs? Maybe a guy that was in the top 40. So you tell me, even if he was at top 15, that's a huge improvement. If LeBron poisons the team with his bullshit, the season's over anyways. Doesn't matter if it's Ayton, if it's the media, if it's himself. And by the way, if Bronny James is part of this rotation, you can kiss any chance of this team winning a championship. Bye-bye. And you can quote me on that on 8/19/2025.
Yep. That's I think that's a pretty solid bet on there as well. Dirk Mania has his thoughts.
Do not come back on here when there is a game in December and he scores 12 points. Okay? I am talking about championship. Do you understand? I don't want to hear about 12 points against the Kings in LA. He hit a couple of threes. Okay, I'm talking about championship contending. Remember what I said.
We're talking about him being an active rotation player for the Lakers team and going all the way to a championship. He would have to be part of that to give you that argument. Is that correct?
This is about winning championships. This is not about winning a 3rd seed. You all saw what happened with that last year. Not a big enough choke, by the way. That's discussed. Because people shift that scale to their narrative. That's part of the whole discussion on why all these chumps and the people who listen to them, because that's why they're still there, is because there's too many chumps clicking and listening to these dumb fucks.
And
you're going to be wrong
as well.
You're going to be wrong. We are going to be wrong. I will be wrong 10, 20 times this year. But it's not coming from something that we haven't analyzed and seen. Like, let's say, Laravia, when you don't get picked up for your 5th year, how often does that player flourish after that? It's very rare. Look at the history of it. It's very rare. It's kind of like a running back not getting his 5th year in the NFL. If the running back doesn't get his 5th year so that he can qualify for unrestricted free agency, going for big money after that, or I'm sorry, I should say signing a bigger deal with the team that drafted him, they usually start going to other teams, and they're on 4 or 5 teams within the next 3 or 4 seasons.
So Dirk had his list. Just wanted to go ahead and mention it. Jokic, Wemby, Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns. Just
it's irrelevant. I don't care about the top 5, top 10. What I meant by
just wanted to list this out for conversational purposes, my friend. So
I don't. It doesn't matter. Like I said, even if DeAndre Ayton was a top 25 center, it's still an improvement on what they had last year.
That's true.
And you have a guy, and you have a guy that is playing for something. He is playing for a big contract. And if the barometer is Miles Turner, who played like dog shit at the end when it mattered and still got a $100 million contract from Milwaukee, and that's not even a $100 million contract. That's technically 100. What was it? How much was left on Lillard's contract?
Well, I think it's over 100 million that's left on
So
his
they
contract.
basically paid $200 million for Miles Turner to suck ass. If Miles Turner had played B-plus basketball, they might have won that championship even with Tyrese being hurt. That's how badly he played. And he got a $200 million. It's circumvented a little bit, but it essentially becomes a $200 million contract because of what they had to do with Lillard. So Ayton's going to get paid. It's just a matter of, is he going to get a $100 million contract like him, or is he going to get a $150 million contract? That's something that I think he'll consider to play well for. And maybe he wants to stay in LA. Maybe if he plays so well and they go deep in the playoffs, maybe Luka's like, hey man, sign this guy, and then we'll go get the second guy if we can, either next summer or the following year. So yeah, don't. I'm not here to argue top 10. I was just throwing that out there. This is about this team focusing on playing basketball as well as they can and better than they have before. DeAndre Ayton needs to do that. Austin Reeves needs to do that. Rui needs to do that. LaRavia needs to do that. I don't know if Marcus Smart can. You can't beat winning defensive player. I don't think he can play defensive player of the year anymore like that, but at least a little bit of it will help. And then, of course, you have Luka, which you can say it could end up playing better this year than ever before. Sure, that's possible. That's possible, but this is a guy that's also won a scoring title and a Western Conference Finals MVP and taken his team to the finals before. I mean, you can kind of choose what you think is a better year that way.
Once again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is Joe Soro along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. Frank, though, yeah, I would take Lively right now over Ayton because, Ayton has already burned 2 bridges. He's still in his mid-20s. You're right. Still has got a long way to go. But Lively, I think he just played so well with Luka, developed so well with Luka. But I would be concerned about his health issues, Frank. I don't know if you, as someone who has a keener eye on the Dallas Mavs than I do, I know you probably guys are a little bit concerned about his health issues, have been over the course of his short career. I do say that Zubats, for me all day, Zubats on this team would be absolutely murder for other teams. Exactly the type of player the Lakers need now. But then again, just you're going to start me with Joe with Chris Paul. It is me and the Zubats trade. That's those are 2 sore spots for both of us on this show. But Kessler, is it? Yeah, we didn't even mention Kessler. Jalen Duren is a double-double last season. Kessler is someone who we tried to trade for. I would say at this point, who would you take? Who has the bigger upside to you, Joe? Kessler or Ayton? I'm thinking Kessler, especially from a defensive standpoint.
I don't know. Ayton should be better.
Ayton should be better. As a number 1 pick, he should be better. Mm-hmm. But does it concern you in the least that he's it doesn't concern me too much because the fact it is a 2-year 1+1 contract, so it's not a live or die type deal. We're not stuck to Ayton right now 4 or 5 years unless he does have that season that just starts that conversation. But having him burn 2 bridges already, obviously the way he left in Portland, the way he left in Phoenix, hasn't brought him into the good graces of a good portion of the NBA show.
If we're going to sit here and wish for people to be different than they are, then you're wasting your time. LeBron James is going to continue to be who he is. So I'm not going to sit here and say if LeBron puts his head down and is it passive aggressive during certain stints during the year and pouts and does whatever. That's an unrealistic hope. So I'm not expecting that. To expect DeAndre Ayton to become a choir boy all of a sudden, yeah, that's not good. Or to have someone like Austin Reeves not be thinking about, I got to get my 30, 40, $50 million in my next contract. Rui, I don't know what Rui thinks. He's a pretty stand-up guy from what I'm hearing. I don't know what he's thinking. Probably maybe a little bit of what Austin's thinking. Luka is the only one that I would say we kind of know 100% and not likely going to go south because he's already made a commitment and he's the star of the Lakers for the next decade. He's the only one that's really solidified. And bigger than that is going to be JJ Redick. JJ Redick might be my only focus right now. Where I'm like, what is he? It's on the side of not good though right now.
And you haven't gone full Darvin Ham yet?
It's not. I don't think he'll ever be as bad as Darvin Ham, but it has nothing to do with his run during the playoffs. It's nothing to do with that. It's his pretentiousness that has always kind of he comes off as someone who has the answer, but does he? Does he have the answer? He's in a position where he has to have the answer, otherwise this doesn't go right. Will the team listen to him? Does LeBron listen to him? Will Luka listen to him? Will Ayton listen to him? What's his philosophy? What's he want this team to be? What is this team going to be? Is it going to be basically LeBron and Luka running the strings? I'll tell you right now. I'm telling you right now. If Bronny is a rotational player at any point in this season, because he's a rotational player, not because there's 5 guys on the IL or whatever, which even then it's bad, then Redick's prognosis is in my view death.
So just to repeat again,
I'm already hearing it. It's probably why there's a little bit of irritation in my voice when I mention it. My irritation with Redick is, are you really going to pull this Harry high school bullshit in the NBA? You're really going to put this kid in a rotation with real NBA players? And you're going to rely on him to be part of that rotation? In the end, he's going to get dusted. So it's not going to really matter, but it's going to be a matter of, is he going to be stubborn to keep putting him in there because his dad makes him do that. However,
who does he beat out? Does he beat out Vincent? Does he beat out?
That's the only position he could play. Yeah, he can't play forward. He can't be small forward. He can't be a power forward. He can't be a center. It's got to be the 2 guard. So is it Gabe Vincent? Is Gabe Vincent going to be that lackluster to where he's going to watch LeBron Jr. take his spot? That's an interesting. If I was anyone involved in his family, I would be railing Gabe Vincent. I'd be saying things like, "Hey, you ready for LeBron Jr. to take your spot? You just gonna let that happen?" Yeah, it's really that's been festering since I've heard it. Since I heard it, it's been festering. That's really what's been bothering me about Redick, because I'm sitting there going, "Is this motherfucker really going to put Bronny in there as a rotational player?" You are flirting with. That's the wasted year you're talking about.
It's so funny because I just thought about it because I know that I think it was 805 talked about Bronny. And I said, remember, because he wants Bronny gone, I believe he said. But I told him, remember, Bronny has a 3+1. Wouldn't it be ironic if, let's say, Connect, and nor do I want this to happen at all, but let's say Connect goes in, continues his funk, Joe, and the Lakers decide in this upcoming Halloween to not pick up his contract. He could conceivably, or for the next year, he could conceivably play less years as a Laker than Bronny James, the guy who was drafted But
Well, I wouldn't go that
36
far.
points.
Once
I said
Mark,
he could conceivably. I didn't say he
once,
was.
but I'm not worried about after this year.
There's a
To be honest,
scenario, however small, that could happen.
I'm not too concerned after this season because I feel pretty confident that LeBron will likely be playing his last year in LA, and then that's part of the transition. Is Bronny at some point will probably get packaged and traded somewhere else after LeBron is gone. It's very similar to when. So just imagine. Remember when Bonds was chasing 755? As soon as he hit 756, the Giants threw him away like trash. They didn't want to have anything to do with him because the Giants organizations are run by a bunch of cowards. LeBron should have played enough. He should have played long enough to hit 800 home runs at that point. He had enough juice to play. And this is different circumstances, but the point is, once LeBron is gone, there's no nepotism in LA anymore with him. I would package him with whoever and get that whole setup out of here. This team is about winning championships, not playing T-ball with father-son night.
We'll see what happens. But it is, of course, the Lakers' fast break. I will just say this. Dirk, yes, I remember that when he put Bronny in that first quarter of the game in Philly, and Tyrese Maxey went ballistic on him and targeted. They centered the offense around whoever Bronny was guarding, and it happened to be Tyrese Maxey. He was out there to try to slow him down, and instead it just lit him even further. I also remember that for the game, I believe, that Dalton Connect, he had the rebound, and the Philadelphia player, I forget who the Philadelphia player was, came up to him, just took the ball from his hands, boop, like that, and then just put it back in. And I was, oh my God. And that's, those soft, tag, that soft label that Dalton has was really solidified for me at that point in time, which he has to get rid of. But we'll see if even he is a rotation player at this time, because right now it was a mess in Summer League, and we'll have to see what's going on there. Not providing a lot of hope for the fans out there in regards to him or what we saw from Bronny. Very uneven play by Bronny in Summer League. I know a lot of people are trying to spotlight a couple times where he scored in double figures. We've got to remember 8 turnovers in one game, and he did not shoot a great percentage from the field or from 3 overall during Summer League. You gotta put everything together instead of just 2 highlight performances for him. You've got to put everything together in regards to what he did over the summer and evaluate it from there, instead of just, oh, look, he scored 12 points, or oh, look, he scored 16 points. You have to look at it from an entire perspective when it comes to all the Lakers players, including Bronny James that played in that Summer League. But Joe, one person we can continue to evaluate with some good feedback is, of course, Luka Doncic, who seems to be playing really well. He looks, again, in tremendous shape. I know a lot of people are remarking that he looks a lot like he did in his rookie season. I know Frank and I, we have gone back and forth in regards to how he developed over the course of his years there in Dallas, and how when he was out of shape, when he was not, things of that nature. Right now, again, we will see if it continues. I think he's gotten the message, Joe. I think by signing this deal, I think his trade to the Lakers has woken him up. I think it really has allowed him to commit, and I foresee him staying in better shape going forward. Not just from an optimistic Lakers view. I just think from a realistic standpoint, he is now maturing. He is now in his mid-20s, Joe. And when you're a guy in your mid-20s, you start to realize things maybe you didn't realize before in your earlier years.
I don't really know. I still don't really know what happened in Dallas. Luka doesn't come off as somebody that's unlikable. Maybe it wasn't maybe it wasn't about it was just frustration. So why did Luka get into shape this summer then? Why didn't he get into shape 2 summers ago? couldn't get into shape this last year because he busted his calf, right? I don't know the answer to that, but it's a question I've asked myself. What was it? Why didn't he get into shape, quote unquote, get into better shape 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Why would a grown man take a can of beer away from his star player who just took him to the finals?
Or even when he got into shape, why did he let himself go?
Well, that part was. I don't even know what I don't know why a professional athlete isn't in shape. I don't know. I really never understood why Shaq was not in shape every year. His excuse was he gets beat up during the year and blah 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 blah, which was complete bullshit. Shaq just didn't want to work out. I wish he had just said it that way. This is your job. You're supposed to be at optimum athletic prowess, and he didn't live up to that, I guess, for Dallas. And they resented him for it, and they did what they did. And in the long run, maybe it's good that it happened because of being a Laker fan now, we get the benefits of it. Does this Luka stay like this is going to be the last question. Will Luka be in shape for the next 6-7 years to make a run? I don't see why he wouldn't. So there's so many puzzles to this, so many pieces to it. I don't know how it's going to turn out for a correct assessment because it's a crapshoot. Knowing what we know in terms of players that are available and not available in the next 10 months, 9 months, what could be in the next few months if there's a demand, those are all going to determine the future of the Lakers. Much like how the surprise trade happened. There was, for a while there, we Laker fans were sitting there going, what the hell are the Lakers going to do when LeBron leaves? We cannot really, and most Laker fans had come to grips with this, even though we didn't say it out loud a lot. We knew that Anthony Davis was never going to be a one. We knew that. It's too late, number one, and number two, his mentality isn't about being a number one. Doesn't care to be a number one. So what were they going to do? We didn't know. What I did know is we're going to end up with AD not being the number one and treading water for what, 2 more years until he's too old to have any value? Well, that changed February 1. And not only did they get someone that was better, they got, in my view, probably the guy that will be better than anyone in the league for the next 3-4 years. That's pretty crazy. So the euphoria of that is still there. But you need to now, as an organization, now you need to start forming your team to that. And unfortunately, with the rules and the setup of the NBA, you can't just go into an offseason like the Dodgers and just say, okay, well, we'll sign everybody that we have, and then we'll go sign 15 other guys for whatever they want. Can't do that in the NBA. So in order to do that is you need to let contracts run out. You need to have contracts that you can trade for better players. All things that the Lakers don't have until next summer. And in the meantime, we enjoy, as much as there's been frustration with LeBron, we enjoy maybe the last season of an all-time great on your team, someone who did bring a championship to the organization, someone that will have their jersey retired in the rafters. Hey, it's been a winning situation pretty much, other than a couple of years due to bad dealings by the front office or just bad luck with injuries. You've had a pretty good run here with the Lakers, and let's have one more here and see if they can get lucky. And if not, it's okay. It's Luka time, and let's go get the second guy so that Luka can have a running mate, so we can start being the favorites going into the year like Laker fans are used to.
So where do you think this team can go as of now, seeing how he is in shape. And again, the reports on when he came into training camp, I did report one back in 2021. There's also another listed years, 2019, 2020, according to Luka Doncic. According to Noah Weber of the Smoking Cuban. That report's out there as well. I think that was referenced from ESPN as well. But again, 2 different off seasons he's come in out of shape. So just to clarify on that, I think I said later on 22, 23. It's actually earlier in his career. So yes, he's come into training camp guys out of shape. So he has not been in shape every offseason. Anybody who's saying that is incorrect on that. So I do apologize. I want to make sure that's corrected for you there. So there you go. Who's the AD slander on? Who's slandering AD? I don't know. Again, you guys are going off on a different tangent. Just want to go ahead and make sure that it keeps all in as far as where we want to go ahead and make it. But Joe, I will ask you this: with Luka Doncic playing at the level he is now, I think he can take the Lakers a long way. Again, I'm not counting them out.
I will slander AD however I want, Brian. Although I didn't do that.
Yeah. Again, I think he's a center. He can say he's a power forward all he wants, but this guy's 6'11", closing in on 260, 270. Yeah, just you can say what you
let the game dictate.
Town says he's a center.
If some of you would just
power forward, excuse me.
Yeah, if you guys would just let the game decide the decision. I mean, I don't know how to say it any other way. Let the game decide the decision on what you're supposed to think or no. Tell me, you guys, tell me right now, when other than 2020 and a little bit of 2021, but you can't really even give him 2021 because he came up lame. When has AD ever been the number one? Even in the year where you could say he was a 1, LeBron still was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He still was the number 1 guy. You could, I'll give you 1 and 1, but it was for 1 year. But now, this last year, going into last year, there was never ever going to be a number 1 without LeBron there. He just never was going to be that guy. So it's not slander; it's reality. And this trade that happened for Luka. There was setbacks with the Dallas organization for whatever reason that played into the Lakers' hands. I don't give a damn why or what in the end. I don't. But the Lakers absolutely robbed a train, a car, a bank all at one with that deal.
I'll just say this again.
What did you say, Brian? What is this? What? Well, I'm not your daddy, Joe. What the hell does that? What? What is this daddy stuff? What is with you people and daddy? Why do you keep using that word? Talking to other grown men about that stuff. That's disgusting.
805 again. It's not been every season, but again, now maybe there's a trend that he does get lose weight.
If you guys are going to talk about collusion, bring me proof. I'm sick and tired of the conspiracy bullshit. Bring proof. If you guys all know that it's a scam, go ahead, do it.
That's the problem. People make these claims.
Guys, stop listening to the idiots online. We've been saying this how many times tonight?
Where is the proof?
Proof.
Where is the proof?
Bring the proof.
So tired of these conspiracy theories and lies myself. I want to see actual, factual proof, not innuendos, rumors, some doctor footage on social media. Don't. I want to see actual, factual proof.
So you tell me. Let me get to what I was saying just a few moments ago. So Michael Finley, who's an executive with Dallas, I don't know if he still is, but was at the time of the Mavericks going to the finals 2 years ago. Did they really get all like into themselves and preparing for some conspiracy by them disrespecting Luka the way they did? Luka's
the
there
assistant GM, by the
celebrating
way.
a finals appearance, just won Western Conference Finals MVP, taking his beer away. Was that like a precursor to a conspiracy a couple years ago? Guys, sometimes you want to keep things simple. There's something that Dallas didn't like about Luka, and they said, we're done with this. Stop thinking about, they planned this. The evidence was there already. This is like listening to people talking about the two towers coming down. Oh, it was all set up so we can. I've talked to so many people that know the building and how it was built and why and what, the holes in the building, how the air travels, like all this stuff. Like I really got together with a bunch of people that actually know what they're talking about. And it made total sense on what happened. Just like the Luka thing. Keep it simple sometimes, guys. Not everything's a conspiracy. And if it is, bring it. Bring it. Just like everyone telling me that there's a list. There's always a list. Have you noticed that, Gerald? It doesn't matter who. There's always a list. What the fuck is a list? What list? Oh, hi, Jim Smith, 13-year-old. John Andrews, 12. And then there's a list that they just throw it in the attic? Like, what list? There's always something going on. Oh, they're doing this. Adam Silver. Oh yeah. Let's take Luka to L.A. Let's send Luka to L.A. and then we'll give you guys the first pick. Okay. Tell me. How do you know that? Tell me.
When they do the actual drawing, Joe, when they do the actual lottery drawing, there are representatives in a locked room with security officials in this room observing it just for that reason you guys are spouting out right now.
Excuse me, Gerald.
Plus, hold on, one more thing. There's reporters. Zach Lowe is in there every year reporting on it. He was fired by ESPN, but I believe he was still in there. There are actual representatives for every team watching and observing this process. So there's no way you can rig this. There's no way. Stop it, guys. Stop it.
I'm telling you, folks.
Get off the drugs.
I have a handle on X, but I try to avoid it. I really do.
Take off the tinfoil, please.
If you, maybe it would help if you guys ran your own gig and really understood how the world works a little bit. Nothing will teach you how the world works than running your own gig, because you do have to go and deal with government stuff and talk to people at City Hall and figure out permits sometimes and things like that, right? I paid, what was it, Gerald? I paid $300 for a sewage clearance for a building I don't even own. And I found out why. It wasn't a conspiracy. They're just trying to fuck you. It's not a conspiracy. Sometimes it's just simple. I know that there's some shady stuff too, but you can't keep bringing bullshit to the table without proof. Can you prove one of them at least? Then I'll kind of take you seriously a little bit. Hey, Joe, they screwed us here in these 10 things. Okay, great. So what do you got? Where's the proof? Well, we're not proof on any of them. So all 10 of these are all scams. Okay, so prove at least one. How about that? Give me just one where you know for sure. You don't know shit. You don't know shit.
You can't rig the lottery.
You can't rig the lottery, guys. There's like 10,000 people that oversee that thing. This thing with Shohei. You think the FBI wouldn't have taken Shohei and buried him? Guys, the FBI doesn't give a shit about Rob Manfred and doesn't give a shit about how popular Shohei Ohtani is. If Ohtani was really into the gambling thing, they would have busted his ass and sent him back to Japan. Do you guys know who the president is right now? You don't think he would have done that? He would have. He don't give a fuck. So, you all got to start. And look, I'm not trying to tell you people what to do. But if you're going to bring information to Gerald's show, and I'm on it, and we're on it, now we have the right to say stop being an idiot. You can do that on your off time, but you guys got to bring a little bit of evidence. How many quote-unquote conspiracies did we talk about during the year? They're all little minute things, but then at some point, those minute things grow into bigger ones. Now it's they rigged everything for Dallas. Who gives a shit about Dallas? Seriously. Who gives a shit about Dallas? You think most of the people in Dallas give a shit about the Mavericks? They care about the Cowboys and how Jerry continues to take that broomstick up their you-know-whats while they just say, yes, may I have another, no matter how bad he is.
Juan, you're just Juan, do us a favor. Stop going to Costco and getting the hot dog deal and then asking for the tinfoil. You know the tinfoil that's right there on the counter that you could take for the to-go orders? Stop using that and then putting it on your head. Stop it, please. It's just, it gets annoying.
Juan, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to do you a favor.
Understand the process of the draft process first before you comment on it.
I'm going to bring on.
It makes me look bad. I'm
going to talk to my guy. I'm sure he'll say yes. I'm going to have you talk to my guy, Tom Shepard. Tom Shepard is a former Army. He was formerly in the Army, spent a lot of time in Afghanistan, and is a genius. He's a mechanical engineer. You'll be able to build anything for you and fix anything for you from a mechanic standpoint. I will ask him about the two towers thing, and I'll let him explain why things happened the way they did, and it'll make things maybe a little bit more clear for you instead of listening to some AI or some Yahoo online talking about the same bullshit that all the other 500 billion people. Guys, it's the same people that talk about a flat earth, okay? There's a business tied to it. These guys make money being a bunch of schmucks. Seriously, people who think that the world is flat, really, guys, how do they have these guys come into conventions? Well, it's because it's freedom of speech, right? It's America. I get it. But seriously, if anybody came to me and said, Joe, the world is flat, I'm not even going to speak at that point. I'm just going to look at them like this because there's nothing else to say. Don't be stupid. Think a little bit. And if you know so well something happened, bring the proof. I will shake your hand if you got the proof. And I will say, you know what? You were right. Oh, you guys. By the way, I'd rather have the pizza than the hot dog, G.
He said, Juan said, great, another jarhead. Try, yeah, well, that's a good deal, though, $150 still by Costco. I'll just say that.
Hot dogs are just good. Hot dogs are good in, like, spots. But if you eat
I don't have it every time. I mean, don't have it every time.
But if you have a hot dog when you're not supposed to have a hot dog, it's just like
I'll have the soft serve ice cream there. Now they've got that cookie.
Yeah. See, there's never a bad time to eat the ice cream, and there's never a bad time to get the slice of pizza with the soda. There's never a bad time. You could have that every day, but a hot dog, you got to have things have to be put together. You got to have that itch.
I get it. Juan says, great, another jarhead trying to teach me something.
Oh, I can. This isn't a jarhead. This is a guy that actually is an engineer, and he knows how all that stuff works. I actually talked to him about it last week. We were sitting in a food court eating Mongolian barbecue.
Here we go with the steroids for LeBron deal again.
So yeah, that's another thing. Okay, good. Let's go back to the basketball here. So apparently LeBron
I should have renamed this show. Let's go into Lakers.
So you guys just keep coming with it, right? Okay. So now LeBron has been on HGH. Now I don't know if he has. I'm not going to act like I'm not going to say he hasn't because you don't know. But it's not the burden of proof. I'm not supposed to bring the burden of proof. You're the one saying he is. It's your burden of proof to say, yeah, he is. This is why.
How many drug tests has he failed?
0. But Gerald, Adam Silver and whoever it's
David Stern. Remember, he's been around for David Stern.
Yeah. Okay. So So anytime LeBron comes up negative, they just sweep it under the rug, right? Okay. So LeBron is the only guy on GH? He's the only one on growth. Because I would say if it was true, think of it this way. You don't think somebody else would have figured this out? These guys are all multimillionaires. So let's say let's play the role here, G. Let's say 10 guys are paying up to $500,000, let's say, because it's documented that LeBron spends $1 million a year on his physique, right? That's not out of the realm for a lot of these guys. It's an investment in their business. Totally get it, right? So why is LeBron the only one playing 23 years then? If you watched baseball in the late 90s and early 2000s, you saw 20 to 30 players hitting like crazy once the word got out on the juice. Yep. So why is LeBron the last of the Mohicans? Oh, wait, maybe Durant is on a GH. Right? Who else? Who else has been playing for a long time? DeAndre Jordan. Maybe you guys are onto something.
I'll just say this, Joe. When it comes to the lottery and you guys saying it's fixed and it's conspiracy and frozen envelope and all that, again, I can't account for what happened in the 80s. I can just tell you what happens now. How
80s had a good problem. 100%.
And I'll tell you one thing. You guys, I've been putting it in the chat. I put it twice in the chat for you guys so you guys can read it. This process takes place behind closed doors with select media members and a representative from each team watching that's involved in the lottery. Also, as again, media members as well are select media members. And they're behind closed doors and they cannot come out until after the lottery. All of them cannot come out after the lottery. The lottery is conducted by accounting firm Ernst & Young. If you want to call out Ernst & Young, guys, if you want to do that on a public forum, if you want to go start a YouTube channel and start calling out Ernst & Young, prepare to be taken to court. And so you would need to prove that, right, Joe? If you call out Ernst & Young and you say they're not very credible, when is their business, Joe, to be unbiased, fair, and credible, especially in that type of situation, a trusted organization, an accounting firm, guys want to call them out, go ahead, because they'll take you to court, and unless you prove otherwise, you will owe them. They'll be accounting for a lot of your money. It's just that simple. So, guys, before you say things like that, understand, do the research, and understand the whole process. Because again, if you go in a public forum, you get loud enough, and you keep saying stuff like that, you get burned. How much did Fox News have to pay the voting machines company, Joe? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Is that correct?
So I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. But real, you know what's just proved my point. Lance Armstrong is the proof that LeBron is on stuff. I'll call it gear. Let's just call it gear. Okay. PDs. Gear is the new name, right? So LeBron's on gear. And you mentioned Lance Armstrong as the proof. You know how much money Lance Armstrong brought in for cancer research? $500 million. This was the most loved guy for about a 4 or 5 year span. Okay, if anyone was going to get, what's the word I'm thinking of right now? Under the radar, kept under the radar, conspiracied. Wouldn't you think Lance Armstrong would have been the guy? This guy raised $500 million. And if you factor in inflation when he did it, it's probably $1 billion now.
That was
for
so
cancer
sad,
research.
Because I was a Tour de France freak during the late 80s, 90s with Le Monde and him.
So was I.
And that was I love that CBS coverage. That was just tremendous.
It's a great sport.
And it took me right out. When that happened, it just
point is, there was no one more in a billion years, I would have never thought a cyclist would ever be in the top of an athlete division of popularity. It was essentially Tiger Woods and Lance Armstrong. Would you disagree?
Yeah.
I mean, Kobe and Shaq, obviously, and those guys had to have room there.
He took Le Mans' success and made it even higher.
Right. So you could argue that the two most famous athletes on the planet, at least for a 2-year span, I'll give them 2-3 years because Kobe started coming to his own in the 2000s, right? Mid 2000s. You could say in the early 2000s, late 90s, that it was essentially Tiger Woods and Lance Armstrong. So why didn't they conspiracy Lance Armstrong with all the good he was doing being a cheater? Tell me. Explain it. If there's anyone that would have been protected, it would have been Lance Armstrong. You know how much money those guys were making? You know how much money that stuff was bringing in? Tell me. Who's LeBron James? Who's Shohei Ohtani? Who's Shohei Ohtani to the FBI in America? They don't give a shit about Shohei Ohtani. If he was stealing or embezzling $17 million for whatever reason, they would have busted his ass the first day. They would have made a huge ruckus on that one. You have any idea how many people would have gotten promoted for that? With all the publicity? The politics behind that? You really think if Pete Rose, if there was anyone that could have been protected, it would have been Pete Rose. The only people that really didn't like Pete Rose were the people he was close to. But Pete Rose to the fans, people love Pete Rose. You guys got to, if the burden of proof is on you. And if everything is a conspiracy, then nothing is a conspiracy. Understand that. If everything's a conspiracy, then nothing's a conspiracy. Usain Bolt got same thing. As they say, oh, those guys in Jamaica, they're all on juice. Okay, fine. Do you have proof? How come they proved it with Lance Armstrong? Oh, and by the way, a lot of people said that Tiger Woods was on gear. Okay, where's the proof? I just gave you some good examples on guys that got busted that were very popular, and then guys that didn't get busted. So which one is it? Was one smarter than the other? Maybe. But y'all need to start. See, it's a loser's mentality. That's what it is. It's a loser's mentality.
And let me ask you this, Joe. Well, let me ask you this. If you're the other, 12, 13 teams in the lottery and you lost to Dallas and you could find out or you could prove it was conspiracy, wouldn't you be taking them to court right now?
Oh, yeah. If there was proof,
if
there was proof,
any losing team in the lottery over the past 30 years, why haven't they taken the NBA to court?
Do you really think that in 2000? Do you really think in 2019 you don't think that the NBA really wanted Zion to go to New York instead of New Orleans? It's just it's tiring, and there's financial gain from this and stupidity. I mean, I gave you guys some good examples of what that was. Barry Bonds, Joe, do you think Judge and Ohtani break Barry Bonds if they were on gear too? Jesus, if you put Aaron Judge on gear, he might hit 100 home runs. There's no way. Honest to God, I'm not lying. If Judge was on gear, he would hit 100 home runs. And if he was a lefty, he might have hit 120 home runs in playing in Yankee Stadium. Ohtani, yeah. I think Ohtani, if he was on gear, would be hitting 70 home runs every year.
I do want to mention something else. Real said it to you. You literally complain about LeBron's power with clutch and his ability to control media and ownership. LeBron is powerful, and Joe, you called LeBron the face of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. Him and Curry are still the face of the NBA. LeBron is a better.
Why are they on opening night?
And LeBron is never. And with all due respect to Steph Curry, he's never been better than LeBron. LeBron is the best player of his generation, and really there isn't anyone really close. Durant would probably be number 2 to me. Then you could put Curry at 3 during their generation. LeBron is the best player of his era, and he is still the face of the NBA. Because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, my wife doesn't know who the hell Shai Gilgeous is. She knows who LeBron is. She knows who Steph Curry is. She knows who Durant is, sort of. LeBron is still the face of the NBA. So is Steph Curry. I don't know who the hell is going to be the face because the European guys don't give a shit about any of that. Luka is probably the best shot that we have right now. I don't know if Cooper Flag is going to be the guy either. I don't know if he has that kind of aspiration. I think he just wants the ball.
Wemby, Luka,
too French. Wemby's too French to be the face.
How is that different from Ohtani?
Well, Ohtani he's got a superhero part about him. It's not
doesn't give you a superhero.
When I say he's too French, it's not because he's from France. It's his demeanor. He's too much like a Tim Duncan. He doesn't want to be the face of the NBA. He just wants to play basketball. Whereas Ohtani embraces his popularity, he embraces the pageantry of who he is. Even though he's a pretty humble guy, he embraces it. And it's nice, by the way. It's nice that a Japanese guy has that kind of pull. I never thought that would happen. I really didn't.
All right. I don't know. I'm not going to totally rule out Wemby yet. So I think Wemby has some things that a lot of people can get drawn into.
Delete who, Mark?
I work. It's him and Sports Baby. They're going at it.
Oh, he's thought about.
Yeah, there. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Man, you guys have got tin hats on tonight. That's all I'll say. You guys are crazy out there. Guys, I mean, if you want to go deep into the rabbit hole, Joe and I, we're not going to it.
I just read why Mark told them to get. Oh man, Sports Baby said if Mark was on gear, he would walk 100,000 kilometers. Holy crap! That would mean he would walk. Geez,
because he says he does 30,000 in a day.
12. If he did that, he'd have to walk. He'd have to freaking do 2 marathons a day. Maybe more.
He'll walk for 8 hours at least.
Oh man. No, Mark walks
about 30,000 a day.
Mark I think walks close to 10 miles a day.
Yeah. And more power to you, my friend. More power to you for that.
It's easy. I think it's easy for him to walk because his scenery there is really inspiring.
Yeah. Surfer's paradise is. Yes.
Yeah. So just walk up and down the beach. I mean, it's not that. I mean, human beings walk. Like there's still people out there that walk all day to go to the bazaars, to go to the markets, walk home, walk to the store. Like this, it's just the shitheads here that drive everywhere that don't know any better. Oh man, you guys miss out, man, on our chat because as soon as Sports Baby says something, I'm waiting for Mark to respond. That's all I wait for.
I didn't see Brian in the chat, but again, he brought up last night on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. If you guys are interested, Henry, Sean, Joe, if it's paid, if it's not, okay, no Joe, but if you guys want to do a fantasy football league, we at the Lakers Fast Break are open to it, but we need to see some responses. So whether you're in the chat tonight or you're after the fact or hit me up, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. let me know if you're interested in a fantasy football league. Still got some time. We could set this up rather easily. I was told to go to Yahoo because he said, please do Yahoo. I said, okay, if we do it, we'll do Yahoo. So I just wanted to make sure we do that. But I wanted to get that question in, Johnny, for you, for Joe on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe, I will try to get on for another occasion on Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Real good conversation Chris Lardieri and I had last night in regards to getting you set up. But we will have one more show before the season starts. So hopefully we can get Joe and
Football is going to be weird this year. There's this uncertainty with Kansas City right now that's brewing. And then there's the usual talk out of Baltimore. And then, of course, the ascension of Josh Allen. Although I think Sean McDermott might need to be the guy that proves a little bit. It's not fair that it's like that, but that's just how it is. At some point, it's going to fall onto the head coach instead of Josh Allen because you can't get rid of Josh Allen. But, I mean, the NFL is at its parity. The parity in the NFL is just in the thick of it now. You don't really know who knows what's going to happen to Matt Stafford. Is Matt Stafford going to put enough cortisone in that body to make it another 17 games during the regular season? If I was Matt, I'd let this be the last year. I thought he was done a couple years ago, to be honest. I'm surprised he's kept playing. I must love the game, but he's been beat up, man. Matt Stafford's been in the NBA in the NFL since 2008. That's pretty nuts. To put that in perspective, guys, that means he came into the league when the Lakers started the three-peat or the finals run with Gasol and Kobe. The start. It's a long time. Oh, and Rodgers has been in the league since 2005. Rodgers started for Green Bay in 2008. He was on the bench for 3 years. Wow. Crazy. It's crazy, man. I don't think anybody needs Josh Dobbs, Johnny. So, sorry.
That's a good question, Hustler. If Josh Allen had Andy Reid as his coach, would he have won Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls by now?
He would have won a Super Bowl by now, yeah. Andy Reid is arguably the greatest. You could argue that he's the greatest offensive play caller of all time. I'm not saying he is. I said there's an argument for it. You still have to go to Bill Walsh. You have to go to Andy Reid, obviously. Mike Shanahan. A lot of really, really good play callers in NFL history. But yeah, I could definitely see if you had switched Josh Allen in 2018 instead of Patrick Mahomes, I think Kansas City wins a couple Super Bowls. Yes, and that's not an insult to Patrick Mahomes, because I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, but Josh Allen is a pretty damn good one too, and Andy Reid would have used his athleticism in a different way.
Well, are you feeling a little bit better now about the Dodgers, the way they're playing?
No, not really. The problem with the Dodgers right now is they're gonna need Hae-Sung Kim to get back. They're gonna need definitely Edman to get back. I mean, those are two vital players in my view, even though Kim is still new. But definitely Edman. And one thing that they have going for them, I know there's still a month and 10 days left, but if you could fast forward to a month from now and everything's kind of the same with the pitching, the starters, they're going to be able to go into the playoffs with legitimately 4 starters. I mean, they have actually more. They'll have more, but they'll have Glass now, they'll have Snell, they'll have Yamamoto, and they'll have Otani. And then Kershaw is a wild card in there. Sheehan is a wild card in there. So those guys can piggyback in those Otani games. But I don't think that's going to happen in the playoffs. I think Shohei will pitch in the playoffs as if he is going to go pitch 9 innings because that's what they'll need.
One thing I wanted to ask you before you leave, it's funny because we were talking about the fantasy football that we covered last night. One of the names that we didn't talk on our list was Anthony Richardson of the Colts, who just found out today that he is not starting. A washout from the New York Giants that I know that Chris, my friend, who's a New York Giants supporter, very familiar with, Daniel Jones, just beat out Anthony Richardson. And it's so funny because immediately after being told that by the coaching staff, Anthony Richards' agent says he trusts his trust is questionable now between Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Stop throwing to the other team when you're out there for starters. Start completing more passes above 50% out there on the field. Maybe that would keep you out there on the field. Joe,
well, that and the fact that can you stay on the field too?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson was a bad decision for the Colts. That was not a good pick. And never in any phase of his Florida career did I ever see an NFL quarterback, a starting NFL quarterback, a franchise quarterback. He may be able to be a backup for 10, 12, 15 years. Anyone who can throw the ball forward and move a little bit and read a couple of defenses can probably have a long career being a backup or a third stringer type. And that's who he is. But he was never going to be a franchise quarterback. And if he was going to be a starter, he would have had to have everything perfect. But even then, it would have been a problem. Yes, Joe Sora is the white AB. And I'm assuming you mean Antonio Brown? Folks, you're never going to catch me on audio screaming at a woman and cursing her out like she's a piece of garbage. You're never going to see me belittle his teammates. You're not going to ever see me on Twitter saying I slept with your wife to Tom Brady or any of these guys. Antonio Brown is the best Pittsburgh Steelers receiver ever. Him and Jerry Rice, 1 and 2 in terms of route running that I've ever seen. Personally, me. And should still be in the Hall of Fame. Won't probably go because of his mouth. And he is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And he's the guy that I always used to say growing up, and I still do now, where that guy needs to get, no joke, he needs to get the Marty Jannetty treatment when Shawn Michaels turned on him during the barbershop.
Through the barbershop
yes.
window, yeah.
Yes. That needs to happen to Antonio Brown.
Ripping the magazine. That was the cherry on top to that. That made it very clear. I thought that touch of Shawn Michaels ripping up the magazine centerfold in half of the Rockers was just absolutely just perfect for that. After he threw him through the it was a very much gimmicked window on that. Yes, JSJ, I'll probably play Black Ops 7. I'm not really excited for it. Milo Ventimiglia, who one of my favorites from Heroes, if you remember that from back in the day, and This Is Us is the leading star in this. Michael Rooker's in it too. But yeah, I mean, if I get Game Pass again, if I re-up my Game Pass towards the end of the year, yeah, I'll probably just pop it in for a little bit, get killed, and move on. Like I always do in Black Ops, but or Call of Duty for that matter, because it just doesn't have the same panache. so many years that it later after once did. I mean, Call of Duty just absolutely was just the Call of Duties that made it really special. Modern Warfare, all gillied up level. I know the controversial No Russian level. Those were the days when Call of Duty was really, really good. And it's just so hard when you have a yearly iteration to go ahead and make it something special. It just seems like it's okay. Yeah, I got to go ahead and play Call of Duty. I got to go ahead and play Call of Duty again. It's that time of the year. I got to go play Madden again. I got to go play NBA 2K26. I already actually saw it and got a chance to experience it during Summer League as far as NBA 2K26, and it looks better. But is it like worlds better than last year? No, just you can only do so much. WWE, for instance, when you make incremental changes over the course of year after year. So again, I'll play it because it's part of Game Pass, which is the best value in game right now. Dirk says, "Are you guys going to stream Luka versus Jokic on Thursday?"
SB, if people want to watch it, go ahead and put that up on Thursday. My Thursday and Friday might be pretty tight, so I don't know. I'll have to see what happens.
I don't have access to it. I'm going to go take a look right now. I don't believe I have access to it, but I do believe that it. I think that either Xbox or SB, because of their location, can be able to get it. Oh, they changed the interface a little bit. That's cool. So I want to see. Let me go ahead and check to see if I can get it here. Jump to date. Let me look right now. It's on the 21st. You said EuroLeague. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I don't see anything relating to. Yeah, I can't get it. But what I can do is, again, if SB does want to go ahead and be able to get it from where he can actually put it on our channel and go from there. But that's up to SB Sports Baby on that. So I will tell you what, if Sports Baby commits to it and we get the proper time on when it's going to start, I will post a note on this channel. I know you guys are not getting the notifications. I don't know why, but yes, I will post a note on it here within 24 hours. And if SB gives me the go ahead on that, and we'll go ahead from there. So yes, I know Lakers Nation has tried to do that as well. But yes, if on playback, if we are able to go ahead and show it to you, I will post an update on our Lakers Fast Break YouTube channel in the notes section there for you. So there.
I wouldn't say Josh Allen is better than Roethlisberger right now. Mahomes is better than Roethlisberger for sure, but Josh Allen still needs a few more years. If you had put Ben Roethlisberger,
not better than Roethlisberger,
not yet. Even though he's won an MVP, you have to look at the circumstances. Ben played against Brady and Manning in their heyday. Those guys were winning the MVPs pretty much every year. If you had put Big Ben in this era, I think he would have won an MVP at some point. I think
Josh Allen is capable of doing more things than Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, but Josh Allen has a chance to supplant him just by winning one championship. But we're talking about Big Ben, who threw for 6 touchdown passes on back-to-back weekends. Big Ben, I'm not saying he was underrated, but when he was on, he was pretty on. He was a beast. Ben went to 3 Super Bowls. Josh is going to have to go to at least 1. And in my view, Ben went to Super Bowls in a harder era. Again, Manning, Brady. And even you can throw in Breeze in there and Eli. Those guys were big. Old Drew Brees had a magical year in 2009. And then, of course, Eli had a magical year in 2007 and 2011. He's not he might be a better football player, but he's not a better passer than Big Ben. He's not a better quarterback than Big Ben. And I don't really know if he ever will be. Big Ben in his prime, it was going to be very difficult for Josh to be better as a quarterback. Joe Soro, Cordell Stewart is better than Mahomes and Lamar are better than quarterbacks you named, Joe. I take Big Ben over. I take Big Ben over Lamar in a billion years. Mahomes, I take Mahomes over anybody. At least in this era. Outside of Tom Brady, Josh Allen is the greatest floor raiser. You guys, with the hyperbole, relax. Stop becoming a bunch of Joe Rogans. Let it play out. Jesus, every 5 seconds, that guy's, this is the greatest mic I've ever been to. This is the greatest cell phone ever. Josh Allen is the greatest football player that ever breathed air. Let him finish his career a little bit. Relax.
You guys are really going the rabbit hole now. That Montana
you guys are the children of twatter. You really are. You guys are the children of twatter. Sorry, I mean X.
The chicken bake at Costco, you can actually, when you put the tin foil over it, does cover it out. So, when you take it to go, but, put it on the head type deal as well.
Prisoners of the moment.
It's going to be weird because next time I go to Costco, I'm going to see somebody like pull a couple sheets out of that little box of tinfoil that's always there for everybody right there. And I'm going to wonder. Picking up her hat.
Can you agree Saquon Barkley is the best running back in a while? Yeah. Sure.
Although Genty, as Sean will tell you, Genty says he's arrived.
Who's arrived?
So, Genty from the Raiders.
Oh, Genty.
Because he rushed for 35 yards the other day. And he said, "I've arrived."
That's always a
and
bad
it's a
sign.
top 15 pick.
That's a bad sign when someone says they've arrived and they haven't even played a game yet.
Yeah, I hear you.
If the Bills win the Super Bowl, I think all surviving members of the 90s Bills teams should get Super Bowl rings as well. Why? They didn't play in it. They're giving away Shohei Ohtani rings at the Dodger game. What am I going to do with some fake ass ring that I didn't win this ring? I'm not accepting a ring unless I'm in it.
Ask any quarterback coach. Allen is a better passer than Ben, according to Jacko. According to ask any.
No, he's not, guys. He's not. Josh Allen will probably never be a better passer than Big Ben. Dude, you have any idea how good Big Ben was as a quarterback? If you want to talk about overall, yeah, overall, that's I'll give you that one. But and maybe have a better career down the road. But no, Josh Allen will never be a better passer than Big Ben. I'm sorry. It's funny you guys say this. There's never been a better passer than Dan Marino. He didn't win anything either. But no one was a better passer than Dan Marino. Not John Elway, not Tom Brady, not
such a beautiful spiral.
Peyton Manning. Dan Marino was the baddest quarterback ever in terms of passing.
That guy had a gun. He had a gun for an arm. Absolute gun. Because now I'm thinking it right now as you're saying it. I'm like, going back like NFL film style stuff and just remembering the kind of absolutely. It's just a travesty that Shula never built a team around him that could be at that level that could go all the way.
Yeah, Shula was. There was interesting circumstances with that whole 90s era of football. The 90s era of football was a very weird decade. The AFC was so irrelevant the first 7 years in that year, and they were in the last 7 years of the 80s that we were watching the Super Bowl every year. When I started to understand more, like every year, think about it. Let's say I remember 1985 Bears Super Bowl. I remember that Super Bowl. I sort of remember the 84 Super Bowl with the Dolphins and the Niners, but not really. But the 85 Super Bowl is like little bit of my first memory of the first Super Bowl. So even then, because it started in 84, because the Raiders won the Super Bowl in 83, this 83 season, and then the NFC went on a run from 84 until 1997, where they won every Super Bowl for 13 years. And almost all of them were blowouts. The 84 Super Bowl was a blowout. 85 was a blowout. 86 was a blowout. 87 was a blowout. 88 was the close one with the Niners in Cincinnati. 89 was a blowout. 90 was a close one with the Bills and the Giants. 91 was a blowout. 92 was a blowout. 93 was a blowout. 94 was a blowout. 95 was sort of not a blowout, but Dallas pretty much controlled that game against the Steelers the whole time. 96, sort of the same thing. Patriots were sort of in it, but you never thought that the Packers were going to lose that game. It wasn't until freaking 97, Elway's, what we thought at the time, last shot at winning a Super Bowl, until the AFC finally got their act together. Think about that. 13 seasons. All we remember growing up is the NFC whooping the shit out of the AFC. So that whole era is just the Don Shula's, the Chuck Knowles towards the end, all that. Like, you didn't really get a feel for those guys towards the end as much, because there was just so much dominance between the Niners, Giants, and the Cowboys during that era, and the Redskins.
Great conversation. This could go on all day. Hustler's saying,
guys,
pure passer than he wasn't a better pure passer than Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to go into this.
Guys,
you guys are just
Hustler, come on, guys. I watched it with my own eyes. I'm not gonna say this unless I saw it. Yes, Rodgers his accuracy is. You could say his accuracy is second to none. I get that one. But no one released a football like Dan Marino. No one. No one. You can see it on film. And imagine, you're seeing it on film when it's in slow-mo. Imagine seeing it live. I keep having to tell you people out there, especially you 25-year-olds. John, I'm talking to you too. You didn't see it live. It's different when you see shit and you don't know the result. It has more impact. It's easy to watch highlights. But imagine watching it live when you don't know the result. It's a different response. Dan Marino is the best football player I have ever seen throw a football. And I'm not the only one that says it.
Fifth quarterback picked in the first round? Was he?
I think he was the sixth.
He was the sixth.
It was John Elway. It was
don't forget O'Brien.
Jim Kelly, Ken O'Brien, Todd Blackledge. Who was the other one?
I'll look it up. 83 draft, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Johnny. Tommy Maddox was better than Dan Marino. You're right. Hey, Gerald, ask AI Google if Josh Allen's better.
You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me, man.
You know who's better than all those guys, Gerald? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it started with. Tony Eason. Don't forget, you forgot Tony Eason.
Oh, Tony Eason. That's right. New England.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, you guys. But John Elway, out of it, he was the number one. So just there you go. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break.
He pulled an Eli Manning in that draft. He didn't want to go to Baltimore.
You guys are crazy out there. Love the chat.
Josh Allen is way better than Marino. No offense.
Again, you guys just I'm not going to go into. You guys will do this all night, and I'm just.
Who's Tommy Maddox? Madix. Come on, man, spell it right. Yeah, Quincy Carter, JY. Perfect. That's a good one.
It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate you joining
us. How about
us.
Brian Sipe? Brian Sipe was the best quarterback ever, right?
Oh, my God. Here we go. Don't get me started. How many quarterbacks do they have in camp right now? 5 now?
So the hilarious thing about the Browns is they drafted 3 quarterbacks, and then they picked up Kenny Pickett, who's injured right now, and they still starting Joe Flacco.
And don't forget Tyler Huntley.
Oh, man, Cleveland. Cleveland.
Hilarious.
We should be
and Deshaun
happy.
Watson. Dude, we forgot Deshaun Watson.
And we don't even have Deshaun Watson in there. The best part here, guys, is whenever you feel down as a Laker fan. I mean, this is a Laker channel, so I'm going to end this on a Laker note.
Please.
The Lakers, since I've been born, have won 11 championships, and we're still. I know I am irritated that it's not 17, right? At least 14 in my time, because I saw 3 finals losses. So imagine that being your life and it's not good. You're not feeling good because you think about those losses. And then put yourself in a Cleveland Browns area since 1978 and tell me what's worse. Mind you, the Browns have been around since the 50s, right? They've been around since the AAFA or AAFC league that eventually was the NFL with the autograms and the Jim Browns, the Brian Mitchells. Well, not Brian. Well, Brian Mitchell later, but and these guys still, after what will be 60 years or 59 years now, Gerald? 60 years? 60 years of the Super Bowl? Still no Super Bowl appearance? That's brutal, man. Whew. Houston has only been around since 2002. Jacksonville's only been around since 95. But the Browns have been in there for they've been there for a long time, man. Poor Indians, too. Or, I'm sorry, Guardians. They haven't won a World Series since 1954. But LeBron got him a championship at 16, so yay.
Yeah, there you go. SB, they're asking if you could put on Slovenia versus
That's
Serbia.
a good one, JY. By the way, the guy that played Howard the Duck is a pedophile. So now that movie is ruined for me, and I love that movie. Or I loved it.
You love Howard the Duck?
Oh, I love it. Loved it when I was a kid. Loved it when I was a kid. Because I love the actors in it. Tim Robbins and
see this face?
Lorraine.
This is my stunned
McFly.
face.
You didn't like Howard the Duck?
There's a reason why it's a bomb, because it's terrible.
There's plenty of bombs out there that are cult classics.
That is not.
What, you didn't like Showgirls?
I saw Showgirls in the theaters.
Well, I didn't go that far. I was watching on cable.
Elizabeth Berkley was gorgeous at that period of time, but I'll tell you what, they acted. The problem is they went to act. And that was the problem with that entire place. They started acting, and it was bad. That is a bad movie. So if she was,
who's better, Magic or Kobe? That's a tie.
Okay,
it's a tie.
Joe loves the BC. Yes. Well, again, Leah Thompson and Howard the Duck. Okay, I'll leave it at that. But it is, of course, the Lakers.
Bestiality in Howard the Duck. Not really. I was a kid. It was a duck. And I was a kid, and it was funny.
I mean, he is cool now that he came back into the MCU. That's what made it a lot of people just go, yay, he's back. So time heals all wounds, I guess, when it comes to Howard the Duck. So I'll leave it at that. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. We'll be back later this week. Joe says we're getting closer to the 3-hour special. We'll find out exactly when that is going to be. Trying to finalize and get everything taken care of that, because that's going to be really, really cool show that we're going to present to you then. So we'll go ahead and see what happens there. But for now, we will bring stuff to you hopefully later this week, and we'll see what happens. But all right, don't Real, you don't want to go there.
Joe's, who's a better athlete, MJ or LeBron? Better athlete? Michael Jordan. Jalen Hurts is better than Mahomes by that logic. By what logic? By winning? I said that Big Ben is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. Definitely a better passer than Josh Allen.
when we went to Howard the Duck, we're jumping off the rails. And so we'll just
Who's being a
do that.
racist?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it, Jay. Tell me about it. I love Verhoeven movies. Starship Troopers, absolutely just love that. I play that constantly on Netflix.
Come
how
on,
can
man.
you not
It's
love Total
Pesci.
Recall? Yes. RoboCop. Yes. And then
Who's Pesci?
Basic Instinct. But then, yeah, unfortunately, his
Guys,
career-
you got to look at movies by your enjoyment. Forget about the box office. Okay, when I was a kid, Howard the Duck was the shit.
yeah, Howard the
Okay.
Duck was,
And
not the-
for a
or
virile,
I could say Howard the Duck was
for a virile, testosterone-filled male watching Elizabeth Berkley dance on a pole and knowing her as Jessie on Saved by the Bell was extremely nice. Big Trouble in Little China is one of my favorites too.
Now there you go.
Did that do well in the box office? I don't remember.
No, Blade Runner didn't do well at box office. That's
And neither
one of
did
my all-time favorites.
Scarface.
Same thing with Little China.
Yeah,
Yes.
those things are not conducive for a family outing. Usually, those are for individuals like us.
I don't know 805. I don't know how many. I mean, there's quite a there's a few NC-17 movies out there. I think there are better ones that are better made ones that are out there. What was the one? Oh, I think Steve McQueen directed it. Not the Steve McQueen from the past directed movies. Oh gosh, which is that movie? I think because that one I saw, and that one I thought was a great performance by Fassbender, Michael Fassbender. Shame. I believe there's an NC-17 cut of that, and that was actually a really good movie, well-made movie. So I'll leave that there. So I haven't seen an abundance of those type of movies, NC-17 movies, but I could say that's better than Showgirls. But Elizabeth Berkley, it drew me in because how she looked, because I thought she looked fantastic. And then I was just starting here in Las Vegas in the first couple of years I was here, and thought, okay, let's see how it is. And I'm like, that is nothing like what being a showgirl is all about in Vegas. That was so not what was actually going on. I mean, yeah, that was bad. Yeah, it was bad. Maverick was good. Movie of the decade. That's a hot take. Okay, Juan. That might be almost as crazy as your conspiracy theory talk earlier, but okay. All right. We'll go from there. It is, of course, the Lakers fast break. It is, of course, the Monkey. Oh.
There's a movie called The Monkey?
Yeah, there's a movie that came out earlier this year, I believe it's The Monkey. Didn't do great. I'll just say it critically or I haven't had a chance to see it yet, so I don't want to put too much stock into it either which way. So if you think it was a great movie, then absolutely more power to you on that. Third top movie still slated for 2026. I mean, Paramount, they want to go ahead and put that Maverick movie out there. Absolutely. Gerald the Gullible. No, I'm not gullible. I'm just reading what you're saying, Juan. So you're the one.
Yeah, Juan, you don't talk like that coming from Stockton.
Yeah, Juan the Misguided. I will call you Juan the Misguided. How about that?
You're not
gonna call me
one.
names. I'll come up with better names for you. So yeah.
You're not the one.
So yeah. Top Gun Maverick, because Hustler. There's also the Maverick movie with Mel Gibson,
which is good too.
I believe a riverboat gambler along with
Gerald the Misinformed.
No, Juan the Blatant Idiot.
Oh,
yes. You are the misinformed one. You choose not to do your research, Juan. You choose to go ahead and seek out Twitter for your information. You do not actually do your research. You are the misinformed. Why haven't you sued the NBA? If you think it's rigged, why haven't you sued the NBA? Why haven't you taken issue with it? Why hasn't any of the other teams that have lost in the lottery taken issue with it?
If it's try again. Try again what? You have to have the burden of proof, not us. You're the one making the accusation.
So in essence, you, Juan, are the misinformed. But we're glad to have you watching. And you were watching here most of the way, so I truly appreciate it. Yes, Mateja, Serbia versus Slovenia. Game is on Thursday. I will let you know via notes on the YouTube channel whether or not SB can fire it up on our playback channel or Joe's playback channel. It doesn't matter to me, but whatever you guys want, we'll get you stuck on it. So yeah, there we go. If it is a possibility, I'll get with the Sports Baby over the next few hours and see if we can go ahead and make that happen.
Sports Baby's going to make it happen.
We'll see. No guarantees. No guarantees.
I guarantee Sports Baby will make it happen.
No guarantees.
Sports Baby guarantees it. Telepathy.
Hustler also as well. Don't forget 20th anniversary this week of one of the best comedies of the 2000s, and it's going to be re-released in theaters. The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Ooh.
There you go. 20 years for that movie. Yes. I know, super bad. Excellent movie as well. So there you go. But this is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Guys, get those tinfoil hats off your head. It doesn't suit you. But we'll be back so you guys can spout more conspiracy theories later this week. Joe, any last thoughts before we head on out?
No.
Joe, Pepsi better than all.
Pepsi as in Joe Pepsi better than all.
Oh, Joe Pesci, better.
I think it's a play on words too. I think he's purposely spelling it Pepsi. You know, a nice cold Pepsi is good.
Not to Costco because they went to Coke.
Really?
Ruben says, yeah. They're changing them all over. They changed them all over Las Vegas.
Terrible.
Ruben says Luka should wear knee pads on both knees the rest of the way.
Why?
Hopefully no more teammates will fall on him. That will help. That's the case. But I will let you guys know via the
he got
notes.
A bruise on his knees. Relax. People get hurt. People get hurt on the court all the time, man. You just got to play through it sometimes. What do you guys think this is? Just a bunch of skipping around, not getting hurt?
The new prebiotic Pepsi. Enjoy.
These guys are talking a different language.
The probiotic ones, I think. Not prebiotic. Probiotic.
I don't want to. When I drink a soda, I want a real soda. If I want to think about my health, I won't drink a soda. How about that? Just give me the regular shit if I'm going to drink it.
That's
Pepsi
well said.
0, Pepsi 1%, Pepsi 4%, Pepsi probiotic. Just drink the goddamn Pepsi. It's soda. It's all bad, no matter what they say on there. Okay,
it'll rot your teeth out anyways.
Okay, you think a cigar isn't healthy, right? But I still have a cigar every now and then. Enjoy your life.
All right.
What else are you gonna do? What's the worst thing that can happen? You die? You're not gonna know. You'll be gone. You won't give a shit.
This PSA has been brought to you
seriously
by all of us here.
Yeah, you won't remember. Just like how when you go to sleep, just imagine you won't wake up. You don't feel anything. It's done. It's over. You enjoy the Pepsi, man. Enjoy the real Pepsi. I'm joking.
Enjoy
green tea and mushrooms are better.
Everyone have a great week, and we'll see you later this week right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
I'm looking forward to our group chat now where Mark can just shit on SB all night.
Dante, you just got here, man. We're already leaving.
Dude, we were here for 2 hours.
Yes, 2 hours.
That means you have to watch it from the beginning.